Summer of 1587, the island is hot and humid. Palm trees sway in the breeze. On the shore, more than 100 men, women, and children from England are building a settlement, planting crops, hammering wood. Their leader, 36-year-old John White, is an explorer and artist who traveled to North America before. But upon arriving in England, White realized he couldn't go back. War with Spain had trapped him there. He tried to convince other explorers to sail to Roanoke. Some say the settlers were attacked by the local tribes, like the powerful Croatoan Confederacy, but archaeological evidence suggests otherwise. No sign of a battle, no mass graves, no remains. Others claim the colonists died slowly from starvation. But if that were true, wouldn't there be bones? Wouldn't there be at least some sign of their struggle? Some historians suggest the settlers joined the friendly Croatoan people and lived in peace, but no one knows for sure. And bring supplies, but they refused. They said the colony was too dangerous to visit. In 2020, a team examined a centuries-old map drawn by John White, which revealed hidden symbols suggesting the settlers moved inland. His father, chief of the Croatoan tribe, had been captured by the English, and Manteo blamed the colony for his father's death. They found a clearing with a well and some broken tools. It looked like a campsite. Then Manteo discovered something strange, a coin from England dropped into the well. White recognized it immediately. It was from the colony. Someone from the colony had thrown it into the well. But why? Were they hiding something? No, despite their differences, Manteo wanted to honor his father's memory by finding the missing settlers. He wanted to bring them home. What do you think happened to Roanoke? Let me know your theory in the comments below. They were absorbed by the local tribes, blending into the native population. DNA analysis has confirmed the link between the Croatoan people and the settlers, suggesting a peaceful integration. But the mystery persists. Why did they leave? Why did they abandon their homes and their lives? The truth lies hidden, waiting to be uncovered. According to legend, the Croatoan people lived there. Many settlers had believed the tribe had taken them in, and White and Manteo hoped to find the answer there. But the island was deserted, abandoned, no one there at all. Disappointed but not defeated, White and Manteo continued their search. They combed through caves, climbed rocky cliffs, searched hidden coves. But no matter how hard they looked, they couldn't find any trace of the colony. The settlers had vanished. But his search was limited. Back then, North Carolina looked like this. Most of it was unexplored wilderness. They searched every beach, every inlet, every cove. They found artifacts like this spoon, the only one of its kind in the Americas. It was a symbol of hope, a reminder that life went on despite the mystery. Each discovery brought them closer to the truth, helping them understand what might have happened. They even braved dangerous waters, battling strong currents and unpredictable tides. Days turned into weeks, but they never gave up. They had to find the settlers, or at least their grave. They owed it to the dead. He agreed to help White find the missing settlers. Together, they followed clues, questioned locals, searched abandoned homes, hoping to piece together what happened. But the deeper they searched, the more confused they became. White and Manteo knew they couldn't continue the search. They had to return, defeated but not broken. They had failed to find the settlers, but their search had uncovered something else, the strength of the human spirit, the will to keep searching, to keep believing. Even when all hope seemed lost, every lid turned to dust. Every witness had a different story. The truth seemed lost forever. No roads connected the settlements, no maps charted the territory. White's only hope was to find someone who knew the land, someone who could help him search. He needed a guide. But again, no solid proof. No bodies, no graves, no answers. Just a word, Croatoan, and a silence that has lasted more than 400 years. So White was stuck in England while his colony slowly starved to death. This time, he'd brought more supplies and more people, enough to start the first permanent English colony in the New World. They named it Roanoke after the local tribe, the Croatoan. Life on the island was not easy. Food and water were scarce. Supplies hadn't arrived yet from England. Inside, they found carvings on the wall, pictures of animals and strange symbols. White recognized them from a book he'd seen in England, a book about the constellations. Could the settlers have used the stars to navigate? Had they followed the constellations to find their way? White and Manteo spent nights studying the sky, charting the stars, trying to read their message. They hoped to find the constellation pattern that led the settlers away, but the patterns kept shifting. The truth was written in the stars, but White and Manteo couldn't read it. Tempers flared, fights broke out. The settlers were ready to give up, but White refused to let them leave until supplies arrived. He convinced them to stay a little longer, promising that things would get better, but White lied. He knew supplies weren't coming anytime soon because he was going back to England to get them. He was staying on the island. He had fallen in love with a local woman named Eleanor, who taught him about the land and its people. She'd shown him how to fish, where to find food, and how to survive. He decided to stay with her permanently. So he told his friend, Ralph Lane, to take charge of the colony while he went to England to secure supplies and fresh settlers. 3 years passed, the war was over. White was finally free. He hired a ship and set sail for Roanoke with food and new settlers. When he reached the island, the colony was empty. Its 115 inhabitants had disappeared. The houses were dismantled. No signs of violence or struggle. No mass graves, no remains. It was as if they'd vanished into thin air. The only clue left behind was one word carved into a wooden post: Croatoan. What did it mean? Was it a message? A clue? A warning? White believed the settlers might have moved to Croatoan Island, modern-day Hatteras, but due to a storm, he never reached it. And so the mystery of Roanoke began. Over the centuries, many theories have emerged, but none have been proven. Even today, the mystery of Roanoke continues to haunt historians. Now, pause the video here if you want to make a guess at what happened to the settlers. Meanwhile, back in 1590, John White was determined to find the settlers, or at least discover what happened to them. And that's when he met him, a young man named Manteo, member of the Croatoan tribe. Then one day, Manteo led White to an old fort near the coast. But Manteo was determined to help White solve the mystery. After days of searching, Manteo led White to an area near the coast. Determined to uncover the truth, White and Manteo returned to the coast. One day, they reached an island. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Winter approached, bringing storms and high tides. For centuries, archaeologists have searched for the lost colony, uncovering clues and piecing together the puzzle of Roanoke. Today, archaeologists believe the settlers didn't vanish. If you want to learn more about the Lost Colony of Roanoke, I highly recommend the series in the description. And that's the end of part 3. If you like this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.